सकलेन्द्रियविक्रिमान्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनन्दचिन्मय सदुज्ज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयोधनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्थासुकोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रलाप्यो वायोरतापि मनसो मणिमोहवानां सोऽस्ति यज्ञपरिचिन्तविचिन्ततत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एककोटिशोदशतजगदन्तकोटि यश्चक्तिरस्य जगदन्तशयानकन्ता अन्तान्तरस्व परमाणुचयन्तरस्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यथावभावितर्यो मनजस्तदैव सम्प्राप्तरूपमणिमानशयानभूषा शुभ्रैव देवनिलकान्पतितः सुवान्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसामयिमादिवान्ति तादेव देवनिलरूपतया कलाभि गोलोकदेव निलसदखिलात्मभुक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमानन्दसरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्दस्तदेव हृदयेश विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्तगुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियनेरतिष्ठा नानामपारभगवद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्ण स्वयं समदभत् परमं पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यशाप्रभावप्रमदो जगदन्तकोटि कोटिषु शेषवृषदानि विभोगिर्वेन्नां तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि मायाधियस्य जगदन्तसुतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयमेरवितालमाना सत्त्वावलम्बपरसत्त्वविशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसततिभामहाशु यात्रानन्दं प्रतिपदं स्मरणामुवेद्या दीनादिदेव भुवनादितरङ्गदष्टं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि गोलोकनामिनि ददामि तरेज तस्य देवी महेश हरिनामसुतेषु तेषु देहे प्रभावविषयानि नितास्तेन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेखा त्रायेव यस्य भुवनानि विभाति दुर्गा ईशानुरूपमपि यस्य कृतेशेषा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रीयं यथादर्शनयोगा सञ्जायते तद्गतस्थितो यशमुदान्तविकासविकासा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपादेव निपदान्तरुवानुवेद्या दीपायतेषु समाजधर्मा यस्वाग्रहेव विनाविभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यातार्थसमेस्तयोगा नीतामनन्तजगदन्तसरोमरूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्बपराक्षमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं Vishnu Mahasayasya Kalavishecho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bhaskartayasya Sakalesha Nitesha Deja Shriyam Priyartha Paritartha Navartha Brahmaya Yasya Jagadanda Vitartha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Panga Vidudaya Vidana Kumbha Vande Brahmasamaya Vignam Samanalasa Jagatmayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Agni Mahori Rajamadori Rasya Kalastamasta Manasita Jagatmayani Yasmat Bhavanti Vishwanti Vishandriyamcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yastakshiresha Sakita Sakala Kahana Raja Samasta Shurabhuti Rashesha Teja Yasha Pranati Kashanti Vajasharo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharmo Tapaparitastamamsi Brahmadikita Padadam Janasriva Yadratamakrativamakratapamava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yastanadevasakarma Vandana Rupa Padanavana Makadori Karmani Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodakama Sahaja Pranayana Vindi Vasalya Moha Guruvara Seva Bhave Sanjita Tasya Sadhima Mohadavile Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shri Adhyata So, Om Gana Timirandasha Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Gurave Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, who so kindly opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge while I was blinded in the darkness of ignorance. So today we are celebrating Vaishnava Diksha, or Vaishnava initiation, and there's two types of initiation that are taking place here. One is called Harinam initiation, and the other one is the Brahman initiation, Gayatri initiation, Sacred Thread initiation, whatever you call it, like that. So let's talk about both of the initiations separately. However, in the initiation, the word initiation means to begin, and in both cases there's vows taken to Krishna, the spiritual master, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the assembled Vaishnavas, and these vows are meant to be taken seriously. In Vedic society, polite society, when one makes a promise, one sticks to one's promises, like you see in the Mahabharata. That grandfather Bhishma always stuck to his promises. You know, he promised his father that he would support whoever was the king. He promised that he wouldn't get married. So many promises like that, and he kept his promises in all sorts of circumstances. So an essential aspect of spiritual life or advancing in spiritual life is to make a promise or a vow, Dridhavrata it's called, Vajantimam Dridhavrata, to make a promise or a vow and stick to it. Now, how does one do that? That's a very interesting question. Because, what is it? Achanchala himanha Krishna pramati balavadridam tajaham nigraham manye vayor iva shrushkaram, as Arjuna says in the Bhagavad Gita, not Krishna. The mind is restless, turbulent, as difficult to control as the wind. So how does one actually stick to one's promises? Very interesting point. Well, as we know, there are two aspects to the subtle body that we're going to refer to right now. One is the mind, and the other one is the buddhi, or the intelligence. And Prabhupada, at one time he said the intelligence is this close to the supersoul. So the supersoul, of course, supersoul, that's Krishna, is giving us directions, matak smritir jnanam upanam cha, remembrance, forgetfulness, knowledge, etc., like that. And so that supersoul is represented by the spiritual master. The super soul in the heart is Chaitya Guru, and then we have the Guru, the external manifestation of Chaitya Guru. So the way that one fixes one's intelligence in knowing what to do, how to keep one's vows, is very much connected to one's spiritual master. And particularly in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we are all connected to Srila Prabhupada, who may be our grand spiritual master, in some cases great grand spiritual master. So we develop a personal connection. This is the point I'm making. Keeping vows, keeping promises are not just dry endeavors, but they have to be based upon the concept of pleasing someone. That's why we call our process Bhakti Yoga. We don't call it Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. All these other types of yoga, or yogas, are not so much personally based. I mean, they may be based upon your own desire for liberation. In other words, why are you doing Hatha Yoga? I want to become free from distress. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So it's personal, self-centered. But the energy that comes from devotion or love is actually the strongest energy. That's what we call bhakti. Bhakti means not only love in a material sense. You know, we love so many things, like, you know, I love, as I've been telling to a boy here, I love my car. Right? I love my car. I love my dhoti. You know, sannyasis are allowed to love a few things. I love my watch that he gave me. So, but bhakti is not exactly love. I mean, bhakti is actually clearly defined by Srila Rupa Goswami. Anyabhi lashita shunyam yanakaram anavritam anukuyena krishnanushilanam bhaktirutamam. In other words, there's no self-centered purpose. That is either subtle, gross, or even the desire for liberation. And simply one does what the object of one's devotion wants. But not only does what the object of one's devotion wants, but does it gladly and with a desire to please. See, that's the essential item in bhakti that really differentiates us. That we do things with a desire to please. Just like in my own life, I try, I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, I try whenever making a decision, doing something, to think about what Prabhupada would say, because I'm focused on the point of pleasing, hopefully I'm focused, I should be focused, on the point of pleasing His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So that's my connection. It's much easier for those of us who are conditioned souls to focus on the spiritual master and the other devotees and then focus on pleasing them. And then that automatically pleases Krishna, because we know Krishna says, he who says he is my devotee is not my devotee, but he who says he is a devotee of my devotee. So when we focus like that, out of love, and think the purpose of my life is to please Guru, is to please the Vaishnavas, is to please His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and we're questioning ourselves at every moment what would be pleasing to them, and accepting what is pleasing to them, and rejecting what is displeasing. Here we're talking about Sharanagati. This word, Sharanagati, is used often, and sometimes it's considered to be a little threatening. Surrender. Just like sometimes you'll come to the temple and the temple president will say, you got to surrender to me. So this word surrender is quite intimidating. But real Sharanagati means basically to give your heart and voluntarily, not forcefully, accept what's favorable, reject what's unfavorable. To understand, as we know, Krishna is always protecting you, Krishna is always maintaining you, and most difficult one for me, being meek and humble, and the final one is having no separate interest other than the interest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's Sharanagati. And that's very much connected with Shraddha, as we know from the progressive path of devotional service, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota, etc. In the beginning there's faith. So what does the word Shraddha actually mean? It's very much connected with Sharanagati. Shraddha, if you take the word apart, Shraddha means to give your heart. It's interesting, isn't it? We translate it in English as faith, but it's much more than just like, I believe in you. I believe and I'll be saved, as we hear so many religions talk about, isn't it? They say, if you just believe, you'll be saved. No. It's not belief. Simple belief. Just like a criminal believes in the government. Otherwise, he couldn't be a good criminal. Right? I mean, if he didn't believe that the police were there, he didn't believe in the police, he wouldn't be able to avoid them. So, so many demons believe in God. Right? But they're trying to avoid him to the best capacity, their capacity. So, Shraddha means basically simply you give your heart to the object of devotion. It's personal. It's Krishna, Guru, Prabhupada. And then based on that, we're talking about sticking to one's vows. Based on that, keeping one's vows is easy. Because you may say it's easy for you to say. But anyway, it is easy, I guarantee. But if you're simply doing devotional service for other ulterior purposes, it's a little struggle. I understand you came to Krishna consciousness because Chaturveda Bhajanti Mam. You came because you were looking for money. Some of you maybe. Anyone here? No. So you came because you were looking you were in distress. You were trying to get out of distress. You came because you're inquisitive. Or you came because you were looking for knowledge. I understand that. But ultimately, we have to go beyond those stages of coming for some ulterior personal purpose. We have to be thinking, I came to Krishna consciousness to please Guru Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this really makes life very blissful. Then everything you do becomes pleasant. It's not a bunch of have-tos anymore. Like Prabhupada called hat-tos, it was very interesting. Prabhupada called them do-nots or donuts. Prabhupada made a play on words. He said, we have so many donuts in the Krishna conscious movement. do-nots or do-nots. So, if you approach Krishna consciousness like that, it's going to be difficult to stick to your vows. If it's just like, I have to get up in the morning, I have to finish my rounds, I have to eat prasadam, I have to avoid the association of non-devotees. What else do we have to do? I have to serve the temple. I have to serve HKACCC. I have to take care of my children. I have to take care of my wife. Oh my God, what a miserable life you have. All these have-to-dos. Instead, change it. Change it. I choose to do it because it'll be pleasing to Krishna. Then everything becomes so pleasant and easy. You'll get up early in the morning then. Otherwise, you're going to be thinking, why am I getting up early in the morning? Because I have to. Like Prabhupada gave an example one time. He was chanting on his beads and he showed that demonstrated the mentality that many devotees have. He was chanting on his beads, finished the 16 rounds, as he said, 16 rounds, finished my 16 rounds, now I can do any damn thing. So how many of us chant our rounds just to get them done so we can get to our real life, our real computer life? Or phone life. How many of us? I mean, we should be honest. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands. Just thinking, okay, I'll get 8 rounds done, then I can really do something I want to do, which is eat prasadam or something like that. Of course, Prabhupada did say when he was young that the way he finished 16 rounds is he would chant 4 rounds before prasad, 4 rounds in the morning, 4 rounds before breakfast, something like, 4 rounds before breakfast, 4 rounds before lunch, 4 rounds before dinner, and 4 rounds before taking rest at night. So that's good. I mean, that's a practical arrangement. But if you're thinking, I'm doing my rounds so I could go to sleep so I can eat, that's not good consciousness. So in other words, change your consciousness and start thinking, I'm choosing to chant my rounds because I want to, whatever. You got to give yourself a reason. I want to connect with Krishna, I want to connect with my spiritual master, I want to please my guru, I want Krishna to be happy, whatever, but you have to find something that connects with your heart, because bhakti yoga is from the heart. We use our brain, you need your brain, but the heart is what we're trying to connect. Like my godbrother Guru Govinda Maharaj would sometimes say about his temple, we're opening up a crying ashram here. So please, no one do that here. But so that's the point, just really connect in that way through the heart. And then vows, vows, nice, 4 regulated principles. Of course, let's talk about first initiation, the vows that people are taking. Obviously, they're taking the vows to follow the 4 regulated principles. No meat, fish, or eggs, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. But also they should know why they're following the 4 regulated principles. That's another point. Not only am I following to please my guru, the only reason I'm not smoking marijuana is because it pleases my guru by not smoking marijuana. That's not a good enough reason. But you should have a practical reason. I'm not taking intoxication because I don't want to be in an illusion within an illusion. Prabhupada said when people take intoxication, they're in an illusion within an illusion. You're already in an illusion. You think you're the body. You're not the body, but you think you're a body. And so you take intoxication, you get into a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. And it puts you in the mode of ignorance. So there's reasons for following the 4 regulated principles. It's not that we just pick the 4 favorite items that you love to do. Of course, the people taking initiation here have never broken the 4 regulated principles, so it's not a problem. But, sometimes in the Western world, people think, why did you pick those 4? Why don't you pick something, simple, like, don't eat pakoras or something like that. Something, I can do really easily. But there's a reason for those 4. Intoxication and meat eating. I mean, obviously, as Bhagavatam says in the 10th canto, 1st chapter, text 4, that puman virajeta vina pashugnat, that someone who's eating meat they can never, never understand spiritual life. It just won't work. And because they're accumulating bad karma, they're not instituting compassion in their lives. I mean, there's many different reasons for that. So there's reasons for following that particular regulated principle. I mean, how can someone be a spiritualist and at the same time be harming other living entities? It just bewilders me when I think about how someone can do both those things, think themselves spiritual and harm other living entities. So, intoxication, meeting, and gambling. Anyway, we see Yudhisthira Maharaj's example, what happens with gambling. I mean, people become so crazy, they literally can gamble away on them. I've never seen someone gamble their wife. Have you? I haven't seen that. But I've seen people lose their cars. In Las Vegas, they actually go there with a nice car, and they put the car up, there's a notary there, and they're able to sell the car because they think they're going to get the money to win back all their losses, and then they have to leave on a bus. You know, it's another form of intoxication. So, intoxicated, meeting, gambling, illicit sex. What to speak of illicit sex? I mean, it's abusive. It's destroys the religious principle of cleanliness. It's puts one in the mode of ignorance. I mean, there's so many reasons why we have these four regulated principles. So you should not think that we just have these four regulated principles. You should know the reason for them, that you're promising to follow them, and it makes you a human being to follow these four regulated principles. And then, positively, what we do, we chant Hare Krishna. I think. Right? Am I right? No. I thought I was in the South Indian temple. Anyway, so Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. So no, we chant Hare Krishna. Now, why do we chant Hare Krishna? We chant Hare Krishna because it is the most wonderful mantra, and the Lord is personally present in His holy names. Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigra Punashuddha Nityamukto Pinatvam Namanamino. Krishna is there, as Prabhupada would sometimes say. Krishna is dancing on the tip of your tongue when you chant the holy name. And what is the Hare Krishna mantra? It's composed of three words: Hare Krishna and Rama. Hare Krishna. Okay. And so Hare is referring to Radharani. Oh, energy of the Lord. Serving energy of the Lord. Please. You're begging. It's actually in vocative. Vocative is a case in Sanskrit and many languages where you're calling out. In English, we don't have that particular case. We have to add an extra word. We say, oh, not oh. Oh, Radharani. Oh, Krishna. But Hare means, oh, Radharani. Krishna is also in the vocative. It's not in the nominative case, it's in the vocative case, which means, oh, Krishna, oh, Radharani, Rama. And of course, Prabhupada said that Rama can refer, the devotees were arguing one time, Rama can refer to Balaram, or does it refer to Lord Ramchandra, both. And also some of the acharyas say Rama refers to Radharaman. Did you know that? Radharaman. So, and you're calling out, crying out, just like Lord Chaitanya says in the Shikshashika, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavambudo Kripaya Tava Pada Pankajastita Duli Sadrasam Chintaya. What does that mean? You're crying out again, you're crying, oh, son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I've fallen, and I leave this word out of the translation usually, into this horrible world of birth and death. Not just, it's a nice world of birth and death, you know. If it doesn't work out in this life, I get a fresh new body. That's comforting. So, at my age. So it's a horrible world of birth and death. I mean, it really is. I mean, I just, you know, recently reading the news, seeing what's happening, how people are cruelly dealing with each other in so many war-torn places in the world. It's just like, wow, where's the compassion? Where's the love? It's not only birth, death, disease, and old age. If that wasn't bad enough, there's adhyatmic, adhibodic, and adhidaivik. Miseries from other living entities, miseries from your own body and mind. Oh my God. And miseries from the material nature. And the worst part is miseries from other living entities. Actually, the most painful thing is when living entities act cruelly towards each other. You know, it's maybe cold weather, you can deal with it, right? You just put on a coat. Yes? No? He likes the warmth. Hot. I don't. So, I'm going to Fiji. So, but it's explained when people, even they say some harsh words, someone who you love, someone who you're close to says some harsh word to you, it's like a knife in the heart. It's worse than a wound. So we have to be convinced. And Krishna, save me. And place me as one of the atoms that you're loaded. That's how we should be chanting Hare Krishna. Not simply avoiding the 10 offenses, which I'm going to mention right now, hopefully. I'll mention them very quickly. First offense is to blaspheme the Lord, or blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. So that should be avoided, obviously. And the second offense, some of you may be subjected to, is thinking the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, are equal to or independent of the holy name of Lord Vishnu. I never think like that. We respect the demigods as servants of the Supreme Personality of God, but they're not. But they are positions. Like you can become Lord Brahma if you chant nicely. No. If you're a Sakama devotee, you could become Lord Brahma, and you can become the GBC chairman too. No, but the chairman is actually a Nishkam devotee. But if you really want it, you chant Hare Krishna, let me become GBC. I did it, and then I'm suffering because of that. So anyways, then the third offense to be avoided is disobeying the order of the spiritual master. Spiritual master speaking on behalf of Krishna, like that, and one should follow his instruction. And the next offense is blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version. So we don't want to criticize any literatures which glorify God. Next offense is to think the glories of the holy name are imagination. Next offense is to give some crazy interpretation of the holy name. There are bona fide interpretations of the holy name, like the word Krishna. Krish means to attract. This is from the Acharyas, not from me. Krish means to attract. Na means ananda, and also to negate the material miseries. So when you chant the word Krishna, you're being attracted to the most attractive person. Attraction. So then the next offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. Certainly you don't want to do that. Next offense is to think that the chanting is one of the auspicious ritualistic activities mentioned in the Vedas, like karma kanja rituals and things like that. No, the chanting is completely transcendental, niyamena tishtan. There's no hard and fast material rules for chanting the holy name. There are spiritual rules for chanting the holy name. Next offense is to preach the glories of the holy name to those who are faithless. That means we give the holy name to everyone, but we're careful how much we explain, and we explain things according to time, place, and circumstance, understanding who and who we're preaching to and what circumstance we're in. That's all. Time, place, and manner explanation of the holy name. Or you just get people to chant, and you just give people prasadam if that's all they're ready to hear. And the final offense is, not the really final, there's one after this, is to not have complete faith in the holy name and maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions in the matter. And so it's not offensive to have material attachments, or else all of us would be extremely offensive. It's offensive to maintain them. Like if you have some dirt in your house, you try to get rid of it. You don't bring more dirt in. So it's offensive to bring more dirt in. And then finally, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the overriding offense is to be inattentive while chanting. So one should be extremely attentive. Now the way one is attentive while chanting, or what I do to remain attentive by chanting, is I always have a sankalpa before I chant. Sankalpa means there's a reason. Just like I'm sure you did sankalpa here, right? But it's quite more complex for a fire sacrifice. You have to say, it's the time of the day, the phase of the moon, where you are, and all that other nice stuff. But at least sankalpa, when I chant, I think, why am I chanting? Again, the why question. Instead of what or how, it's why. Why am I chanting? What is the reason? And I try to connect with the why. And each and every one of us, as I mentioned previously, have different whys, why we're chanting or why we're doing something. And if you connect with it, you'll be attentive. I'm chanting because I want Krishna's mercy. Or I'm chanting because I'm feeling separation from my deities, just like this morning. This revealed my own consciousness. This morning I was in my room, and I have a picture of the deities that I've been worshiping for the last 2,000 years. Yeah, I'm well preserved. So, for the last, since 1982 or something like that, I brought the deities from Jaipur. And so I'm looking at them and just praying. I'm feeling so much separation. And I was really able to focus my mind in doing that. And one other day I'll be thinking, when I'm chanting, please, Krishna, help this devotee, help this disciple, because my disciples keep me really focused on chanting the holy name. They're very merciful because at any one time there's quite a bit of them like giving me trouble. Anyway, but seriously, when there's a devotee in pain, a devotee is struggling, or a situation, even a management situation, sometimes I have to deal with. Like today on the way over here, I was talking to one devotee in one of our farm communities in the United States, and there's some management situation there, and I'm trying to get some advice. So I'm chanting and praying, Krishna, give me intelligence, help me deal with the situation. So everything's connected to Krishna. I'm not saying you should chant Krishna, Krishna, give me a better car. Krishna, 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 let my wife be nice to me. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Let the stock go up in the stock market. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have something that's really connected to Krishna that'll bring you or someone else closer to Krishna. And you meditate on that. And you chant Hare Krishna, or you keep a picture of the deities in front of you, Radha Gopinath in front of you, and just chant, Radha Gopinath, please give me your mercy, please. And chanting is begging. And when you do that, you'll actually be very focused, you'll have good chanting, and you'll avoid the offenses, and everything will come out all right, and you'll go back to home, back to Godhead. So, anyway, so that's, let's see, how long did I speak? Too long. So, they told me to limit to 45 minutes, but it's hard. So, on the other hand, we'll talk about the second initiation, briefly, or Brahman initiation. Second initiation is given after some time to those who have shown themselves to be nishta, or steady, in their Krishna consciousness. And those who have sufficient knowledge of Sambandha Gyan and Abhideya Gyan. Sambandha Gyan means understanding the tattvas, like the material energy, the spiritual energy, Krishna, Vishnu tattva, Jiva tattva, etc., and their relationship with each other. And Abhideya means understanding the process of devotional service, which is laid out very nicely by Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. So when one showed him or herself to be steady, then they're given second initiation, and the qualities to be getting second initiation, the qualities that a person who has second initiation should aspire for, are mentioned by Krishna in the Gitas. His famous verse, Samadhamakta Bhakshocham Shanti Rajivame Vajagyanaviganamastakhyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. What is that? one should strive to be equipoised. And that's the first lesson in the Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? One should, happiness, distress, pleasure and pain, one should learn tansa tikshasha bharata. So one should be equipoised in all situations. Equipoise means not just that you're absorbed in Brahman, in personal Brahman, but you're just focused on Krishna and Krishna's pleasure and the Guru's pleasure. So, samadhamma, you're able to control your senses, keep them tamed, as Prabhupada would often translate that word. Tapa, austere, we mentioned this before, accepting things favorable for serving Krishna, rejecting things unfavorably, that are unfavorable, I'm sorry. Tapa, shocham, and especially Prabhupada talked about the principle of cleanliness. That was the one that Prabhupada really kept mentioning more and more and more, so many times when he was talking about second initiation. Brahman should be clean. Prabhupada said bathing a certain amount of times a day, 3 times a day, and of course if one's working, 2 may actually have to be sufficient. But revolutionary clean. Prabhupada expected revolutionary cleanliness in the temple, in one's home, in one's cloth, whatever one is, and clean internally as you chanted this mantra. You did chant the mantra? Abhavatra, apavitrava, sarvavastam gatopiva, yaksmaret pundarik aksham, savaya avyantara shuchi, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. By always remembering the lotus-eyed Lord by chanting his holy names. Shocham shanti, tolerant, being tolerant. If someone hits you on one cheek, you don't have to turn the other cheek. But don't hit him back. Shanti Rajma. And honest, and honesty is really important. Satya prihitam, speaking truthfully, honestly, pleasingly, beneficially, like that. Religious, and the final thing, jnana avijnana, regularly reading Srila Prabhupada's books and applying the knowledge in Srila Prabhupada's books. That's what a Brahmin is. And a Brahmin, just an additional note, a Brahmin is considered the official representative, priest you may call it, or minister of the Krishna conscious movement, and people will judge the Krishna conscious movement on the actions of those who are, actually all the devotees, but specifically those who are initiated, and specifically even more so, the Brahmanas. Because we don't want Kali Yuga Brahmanas. Kali Yuga Brahmanas means someone like Shringi who cursed Maharaj Parikshit. That's a Kali Yuga Brahmana. We want actual Brahmanas. Why do we want actual Brahmanas? Not simply for their own sake, so they can be exemplars for the rest of society. The reason people take to Krishna consciousness, for the most part, and remain serious in Krishna consciousness, is that they have role models or exemplars. That's what kept me going. I have Prabhupada. Prabhupada was someone, when I first met Prabhupada when I was about 21 years old, I thought, when I grow up, I want to be like that. So that's been my focus in life. An example. So all of you were meant to be acharyas in that way. Small a, of course. Not big A. I'm the acharya of the temple. No, acharya means good behavior, example. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tat tat evetaro janaha. And also prachar, too, being able to speak nicely. So when you're like that, people will naturally want to copy you. And then the Krishna conscious movement will expand dynamically, dramatically, exponentially. That's the key to expanding Krishna consciousness. Example, saintly person. My whole life I was looking for a saintly person. I found Prabhupada, fortunately. Okay, one final note about initiation is that all of you are, by taking initiation, are also promising to serve His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's movement with your life and soul. And we do not want, those of you who are taking initiation from me, and for all of the devotees, we don't want any partisan spirit, guru, groupies, or anything like that. We're all just one family under His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Remember that. We're servants of Srila Prabhupada. Your guru is a servant of Prabhupada. We're all servants of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is the central point of this movement. Prabhupada's Siksha is the central Shiksha of this movement. And in this way, we're all one big, happy family. Remember this. Thank you very much. So, on that happy note, we will give the names of the devotees. And so, everybody has their neck beads on? The new Hare Krishna neck beads? Everybody's, okay. So what we're going to do is hopefully there's enough space. As I call each person up, they should offer obeisances to Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada first, then Radha Gopinath, the deities, and then come here and offer obeisances. Well, I don't know. It's hard for me to say offer obeisances to me. But anyway, at least to my not so humble self. Right, I know. I didn't want to say offer obeisances to me. So first is Keshava. I'll give you an order. Keshava, Dipti, Kamalakar, and Vijayawati. In that order. Okay. All right. Let me get. Where's the other one? Oh, here it is. It's pretty hot in here, isn't it? That's all right. Yeah, Keshav is coming up first. Yeah, Harinam, you can offer obeisances, and then after we give the names, we'll give him his thread. Okay. Dandavats, as they say. What? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When you offer obeisances, try to do it like in a way that the feet aren't at angle, like that. Right side, yeah, right side to me, which is that's your left side. Go around here. You're up here. That's all right. That's all right. I wrote the name down for him. All right. Another mala. Thank you. Okay, so what are the four regulative principles?
No meat eating, eggs, fish, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit.
Okay, very nice. And how many rounds every day?
I'll be doing minimum 16 rounds, but more rounds on Ekadasi.
If you can do, more rounds on Ekadasi. Okay, you get the beads with your right hand. So your name now is Krishna Keshava. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam, whatever. It's a nice name. Pahimam. Okay, Dipti. All right. Let's see. She's his good wife. I don't know where the bad one is, but. All right. So, what are the four regular principles?
No meat eating, including eggs and fish. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling.
Okay. Get no rounds?
Minimum 16 rounds every day and more on Ekadasi.
Okay. Okay, so your name, you get the beads with the right hand, is Divya Gopika Devi Dasi. Divya Gopika Devi Dasi ki jai. The name is written to avoid confusion. So, this is good. Krishna Keshava has a new wife now. That's Okay, so who are we going to do next? Your mother? Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, what are the four regular principles?
Maharaj, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit.
Okay, how many rounds?
A minimum 16 rounds on the beach every day.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, you get the beads with your right hand. Your name now is Kapila Dev. Haribo. Kapila Dev ki jai. Kapila Dev ki jai. Another mala. Here's the paper so you. What? Oh, no onion, no garlic. Okay. No kava either. Okay, so that's right. She doesn't have to go down. That's all right. No. Now, when someone is so senior like this, I don't really ask them about no illicit sex or anything. So, I mean, she is following the regulator principles. I have to follow etiquette. You know, you can't. So, she has good children, and she's following the regulator principles. I'll vouch for her. And how many rounds a day? 16 rounds every day. Okay, very nice. And you have a nice son.
Thank you. With a nice car as well.
No, not nice. Car's not so nice. But so your name now, you get the beads in your right hand, is Vidya Shakti Devi Dasi. So Vidya Shakti means the potency of knowledge, transcendental knowledge. And also, actually, Govardhan asked me to just request the, it's not, there's no garlic or onions either.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not for her. But I just say, and then also I add no kava either.
No, yeah, not tea.
Kava. Okay, and so Harinam is taking second initiation. He's been initiated for a long time. So I think I have enough garlands. I think I'm going to start to choke. Give one to Nishinga Kavacha. So what you do, I think you have to take that wrap off. Not the bottom wrap, just the wrap up top. Top. Yeah, take it off. Just that's good enough. That's good enough. And put your head through there, right arm, right hand. Okay, very nice. I'll give you the mantra. Haribol. Okay, very nice. So you can sit down. I'll give you the mantra later after the fire. Okay. Okay. No Brahmin thread for you though.
No, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Traditionally, thousands of years ago, the women were given Brahmin threads. Did you know that? Yeah, thousands of years ago. So, I won't do that, don't worry. Nrsimha Kavacha will report me to the deity worship ministry. I'll show you the evidence. Okay, so I guess we can proceed with the Havan. What's that? Yeah. Okay.
प्रजापति विष्णु श्रीपति चंद्र विष्णुर्देवता विनिस्थापने विधियोगा ओम भूर्भुवः स्वाहा ओम समुद्भवा नाम किने इच्छाग्ने त्वं समुद्भवा नामाशि भूमवाहयामि स्थापयामि प्रभुभ्या स्वागत गुरुभूय Everybody can repeat after me, and then once I say swap, we can offer the grain to the fire. Please do not touch this finger, the next finger, Om Ajnana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Vishakha Tamscha Nama Om सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवत्सभानवी देवी ललिताय विपब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः स्वाहा स्वाहा माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाध्या श्रीरूपयोगा भक्तिदा श्रीगौरा करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीनतारिणे रूपनुगा निरुद्धा अपसिद्धान्ता भान्ता हारिणे स्वाहा नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भा रसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः स्वाहा नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपनुगा परायते स्वाहा गौरभावभूमित्वं निर्दिष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमा श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः स्वाहा वंशकल्प तरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धो एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौर विसे नमः पंचतत्वकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं स्वाहा हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा Pango Mama Mandamatirgati Matsarvasva Padam Bhujo Radha Madan Mohano Forgiveness. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardana Yadbhudita Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadastu me Swaha प्रतिज्ञातव गोविंदा नामे भक्त्या प्रणश्यति इति समृत्या प्राणन् संधर्यामि अहं स्वाहा Swaha. Swaha. We'll have the Purna Ahuti now. All the initiates can stand up. Hold the banana in both of your hands. You can leave the grains at the bottom for now. I'll chant these prayers 3 times and then we'll offer the banana in the fire. Everybody can repeat after me. Om Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahman Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Swaha. Now everyone can take their grains. We'll offer the remaining grains in 3 portions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyase Swaha Swaha Swaha. You can put all the grains in the fire.
Oh, the fire's gone.
We'll-
I have to light it again.
Yeah.
There's no fire.
Karnavatar Prabhu, we can start chanting.
With the matches.
Devotees can go 7 times around the fire. Can do parikrama. Initiates can start doing parikrama around the fire.
तो मूड के भैया थोड़ा
हाँ।
करो। देखो आगे नहीं रही।
करता
आगे पीछे
करता
है।
करता
तो मूड जाओ तो आप लोग करें।
Take it outside.
Pour out.
आए?
Pour out. प्रभु इसमें थोड़ा लकड़ी छोड़ो
और लकड़ी ऊपर।
हाँ 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 तुलसी सब छोड़ दो
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's what he chanted.
Hare